What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Well, dude over here. Today I'm going to give you a Call of Duty ranking of their games in a tier list. I'm going to tell you which game I think belongs in the all-time classic rank, in the great rank, in the good rank, in the decent rank, and the bad rank. All-time classic, we already know it's that game that it's still in our memories. We still play it whenever we can. We still give it a try. We still see if there's people playing it in the multiplayer. That game that the campaign was so good that we still play it every now and then to relive the memories and the moments that make it iconic. Great is that game that we played it through the entire Call of Duty season. We enjoyed it, but then the new game came out and we kind of lost track of it. And in a few years, we still played it and see how good it was, and we still had a good time. Good is this game that throughout the Call of Duty season, we enjoyed it, but ever since, we haven't played it. The new game came out, and we haven't played it since. Maybe the campaign, but just because there's nobody playing our multiplayer and we don't even try it. Decent, the game that we played through the entire year. We complained about it. We couldn't wait for the new game, but we still didn't stop playing it. So we still had a good time with it. We still, even though we complained, the good times were better than the worst. And that's what, for me, makes it a decent Call of Duty. And the bad Call of Duty, we just stopped playing it through the Call of Duty season. And for the new game, we couldn't wait for it. And by March, April, or maybe before, we even stopped playing it. So yeah, that's for me what an all-time classic, a great, a good, a decent, and a bad Call of Duty are. So let's start in order with Call of Duty 4. Of course, I'm not doing Call of Duty 1, 2, 3 because, you know, the multiplayer boom happened in Call of Duty 4. So yeah, and that's the reason I'm putting in an all-time classic. Is Call of Duty multiplayer what it is today without this game? I don't think so. This game made what Call of Duty is today what it is, of course. And the multiplayer was iconic, it was innovative, it was unique for its time. The creator class system never existed until this game, so that's something this game improved in. And the quality of the gameplay is top notch. The engine felt so different to 1, 2, and 3. I didn't play 1, 2, and 3, but I still, had an experience of seeing people playing it in front of me. I maybe played once or twice, I don't remember. So the engine felt so different. The graphics were astonishing. This game made Call of Duty, of course, what it is today. And, well, it was a start for what it is today. There's another game that made that push to it being iconic, like an iconic franchise. The campaign was solid. Everybody enjoyed it. It's one of the best campaigns in the series so far. So that's why I put it in an all-time classic. Now let's go to World at War. I never played World at War at its peak. I enjoyed it maybe a year later or 2 years later. And I didn't have the full experience of all the Call of Duty Zombies maps. I didn't get the experience of the full campaign. I still, at this day, haven't gone through the full Call of Duty World at War campaign, believe it or not. Because there was a mission, I don't remember quite well, that I got stuck in. And I never, I was like 13 or 14. I didn't want to go. I wouldn't want to grind, so I was very focused on school at the time. I didn't want to grind it, so I say whatever. I'll just get some multiplayer. And multiplayer, because of the following game, didn't have so much people playing it. So for my experience, my short experience of it, it's still good. I'm putting in good because of the short experience I have and the media reception and the Call of Duty community reception. This game is one of the most talked about games in the franchise, and there's a reason for it. For the short amount that I have played it, I can see why people loved it. Now, you know what Modern Warfare 2 is called. This game, it broke the metric of how much games should impact a game. Modern Warfare 2, to this day, is still one of the most played multiplayer games ever. In its first year, it was one of the most played multiplayer games. Its campaign was phenomenal. its campaign was so good. The multiplayer was groundbreaking. This game is the reason Call of Duty is such a mainstream franchise. There's a reason I started with Modern Warfare 2. Because Call of Duty 4 started the movement. World at War, for what I see, continued, but not at it didn't make that leap. Modern Warfare exceeded that leap. It was crazy. A lot of glitches, a lot of wrong things in the game. It's like, for a manufacturer's point of view, it could be decent or bad. But from a gamer's point of view, it's an all-time classic. And following that, we go with another all-time classic, Call of Duty Black Ops. Call of Duty Black Ops followed Modern Warfare 2. It had a lot of work to do to at least compete or stay close to where Modern Warfare 2 was. Sales were great. The campaign, in my opinion, was even better than Modern Warfare 2's. The multiplayer wasn't even close to as good as Modern Warfare 2, but it was still good enough to say it was a good, it was an enjoyable time. And zombies, I fell in love with zombies thanks to Black Ops. It was such a good experience. I didn't have all the the DLC maps, and still with Kino, with 5, and with Ascension and Call of the Dead, those were the 4 maps I played the most. With just those 4 maps, that means I didn't have Shangri-La or Moon, or the World at War maps that came back to the game. With those 4 maps, I had such a great experience that I fell in love with zombies. Now, Modern Warfare 3. For that time, I didn't have a PlayStation 3 or an Xbox. My console broke, so I wasn't I could still play the PlayStation, but I wasn't, I didn't force the console. It didn't, I didn't want to force it to a point that I didn't have it fully, so I didn't get much of it. Now, 2 years or 3 years later, when I got a PlayStation 3 again, maybe a year later, I got it. I didn't have the best multiplayer experience because players were already in the next one, but the campaign was very enjoyable. The survival mode was great, and the Spec Ops was very good. Even the Modern Warfare 2 Spec Ops mode was pretty good too. The multiplayer, I didn't get the full experience, but from what I've seen, it's some of the best multiplayer too. So I'm gonna go and put it in great. I've heard also that the DLC was probably the best in the Call of Duty franchise history. So yeah, that helps too. If you are a mainstream Call of Duty player, if you're a main Call of Duty player, if you feel World at War is better than Modern Warfare 3, that's your experience. My experience, this is my experience. Let's go with another game that has a great reputation. I didn't get to play it as in the main mode at the main time, just like Modern Warfare 3. I didn't get the full experience of the zombies maps. So for me, I'm sorry, I'm going to put it in good. I know many people have it in an all-time classic. I know a lot of people. You know what? I'm gonna put it in great. I know a lot of people have it in an all-time classic, but I didn't get the full experience. I played the campaign. I loved the campaign. It wasn't as good as Black Ops. It was better, or just a little bit worse than Black Ops, but still the campaign was incredible. The multiplayer played pretty good for the amount of time that I could play it. Zombies, I didn't get the full experience. I only got Transit. I'm sorry, but Transit. So yeah, if the first Zombies maps was as good as Kino, I would have put it in an all-time classic, even with the short amount of gameplay that I got, and the main season of Call of Duty that game was available. I would have put it in an all-time classic. But Transit was so bad, and I didn't get the full experience of the Zombies map, so I'm gonna put it in great. I'm sorry. Call of Duty Ghost. I'm sorry. Campaign was good. I like the campaign. Many people don't. I like the campaign. It's good. The multiplayer isn't great. It's enjoyable. It's decent. It's decent. Extinction, there's a lot of potential in Extinction. If somebody in the future tries to give it a second try, it can be something spectacular, but it's decent. It's not a good game. People were complaining about it, like even when it came out. But the reason I didn't put it in baddie is because right now in present time, people are still playing it. People have gone back to it, and people are enjoying it right now. So if a game that came out 6 years ago, 5 years ago, I think, if a game that came 5 to 6 years ago is still being played and people are still enjoying it, it's not bad. It's at least decent. Let's go Advanced Warfare. I got it in good. Advanced Warfare had a very good campaign, like a very, very good and surprising campaign. Was it Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare Black Ops level of campaign? No, of course not. But it was still very good. The multiplayer, for like when you have the advanced movements for the first time and you try it out and you see what you can do with it, it's something like game changing. But then when you get used to this happening every single game, that you're having people moving around the air in every direction and different speeds, it gets kind of boring. So, and it frustrates people. And the zombies, I had a very good experience with the Advanced Warfare zombies. I know a lot of people in the zombies community hate it. Some enjoy it but don't love it. So I got it good. It's not a decent bad, but it's not great, or not even close to even being considered as an all-time classic. Black Ops 3 campaign maybe ruined it. I had a great time with that campaign. I'm sorry. The gameplay mechanics of the game it felt so good to play Black Ops 3. That alone makes it an all-time classic. The campaign, many people hate it. I don't love it. I enjoy it to the fullest. I enjoy this campaign so much. It's so crazy. You don't even know what's happening most of the time, but whatever. I enjoy it. The multiplayer of Black Ops 3 could be considered one of the best. A lot of people are still playing it as if it's the main game of the year, for other reasons, but mostly because this game is very good. And zombies, if not for Setsubo, which has a pretty bad reputation, if not for Setsubo, I believe every single zombies map in this game is great or just amazing or awesome, So that makes it an all-time classic alone. Like zombies makes it an all-time classic. Campaign makes it a great campaign. For others is decent or bad. And the multiplayer is also one of the best multiplayers in the entire franchise. Infinite Warfare. If you think I'm gonna put it in bad, I'm gonna put it in decent. Infinite Warfare is not a trash game. It has a very solid campaign. Very solid. A lot of people enjoyed the zombies. I didn't get the full experience. I never wanted to play it, so I didn't try it out. But from what I've seen, some people in the zombies community say it's better than Advanced Warfare zombies. I don't know. The multiplayer, it's good, but it's not great. And he has too much of a bad reputation that I can't put it in good with World at War and Advanced Warfare. I'm sorry, but I can't put it below Ghost. So I have to put it in decent. Spoiler alert: I have no game in bad. Like Call of Duty is still such a big franchise that even if a Call of Duty game is not good enough for people to love it, it's at least decent enough for people to play it. World War II. It started at decent. Campaign was pretty good. It has the best cinematography. It looks the best of all the Call of Duty games, in my opinion. The multiplayer, people had a lot of problems with it, and zombies was maybe too much. Like, I know the gore and the horror taste of it, it's amazing, but the gameplay itself, how it felt, the tone, the pacing, it didn't work. But with time passing, with the years, the multiplayer has turned this game into great. Go put your Call of Duty World War II copy into your console. Try the multiplayer out. You'll remember me. This game has turned into one of the best multiplayers in Call of Duty history. I still play it to this day. I still play War. I don't have all the maps, but I still play War. It's just an amazing multiplayer game. You know? It has a great experience. Like, go play the multiplayer. You'll love it. Believe me. Now, this game should be in bad. I said there will not be any bad games. This game is good. It's bad until you put Blackout inside the game. Blackout is so good. It's supposed to be an all-time classic. Go to Specialist, and the game does not have a campaign. Blackout makes it great. Now go to the multiplayer. It's good. I'm sorry. The multiplayer ruins this game in my opinion. Having no campaign hurts it, but the Blackout game mode is so good that it should be an all-time classic just for Blackout. But the fact that it includes not having a campaign and the multiplayer not being that good, that's why I have it good. So yeah guys, this is my tier ranking. I don't have any game at bad because like I said, even the worst Call of Duty is still enjoyable. People still have a good time when it's in its main season. A lot of people quit it, but there's so much more people that still enjoy it. And I think I should put it in good for the fact that people are still enjoying it today. But it was so bad in its time, and people have taken so much to try it out again that, it's not, I can't put it in good. And Infinite Warfare, people are still playing it, but it's not something grand. It's not good. Like, people can enjoy it. People can have a good time. The advanced movement in this game is pretty good. But so yeah guys, thank you for watching. If you did enjoy this, drop a like, give me your opinions in the comments section, subscribe if you haven't for more Call of Duty and more NBA videos. I have a vlog every single Sunday with me and my personal life and my family. So yeah guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hasta la vista, baby.